Zono Sports Show, where you know Zo knows. The fourth game has passed in college football, and if you ball, that's all. Now, the reason I say that is because the redshirt rule that was newly instituted by the NCAA now states that if a person decides to, or a player decides to not play in that fifth game of the season, well, whose decision is it, the coach or the players? I don't know, I guess it depends on who you're playing for, right? If that player does not compete in the fifth game of the season, they are eligible to receive a second year of eligibility. If they do transfer or stay at another school, they'll get that year back, and they still are considered a redshirt. They can redshirt as long as they don't play that fifth game. Now, the interesting thing about that, we talk about the two powerhouses of college football right now. Who are they? Who's the two most prominent programs in college football right now? Well, you got Clemson and Alabama, two prolific programs. Now, in college football, as far as I'm concerned, basketball, Avery Johnson's kind of balling a little bit, but football-wise, Alabama, let's start off with them. They've got two quarterbacks, Tua Tagovailoa. He comes in last year off of the bench in the national championship game after Nick Saban decides that Jalen Hurts not getting it done. He gets thrust into the action, and what does he do? Leads his team to another national championship. Nick Saban found a gem in this recruit who came over from Hawaii, didn't know if he was going to play last year at all, and then he gets turned into the hero overnight, and is now the rock star down there in Tuscaloosa. Tua Tagovailoa's got 14 touchdown passes, no interceptions. The Alabama offense is rolling. They're averaging 50-plus points per game. Jalen Hurts was the incumbent. Jalen Hurts was the starter prior to this season. After he got his spot taken, he's no longer the starter. So what does he decide to do? He has two options. He can either stay, not redshirt, graduate in December, play somewhere else and only have 1 year of eligibility remaining, or he can not play that fifth game and put himself in position to have 2 years somewhere else. Now, the one thing I like about this situation is Jalen Hurts, he did decide that he says, you know what, I'm going to stick it out. I'm going to play in the fifth game, which was last week versus Louisiana Raging Cajuns. Jalen Hurts decided to play. The fans cheered him on, clapped their hands for him. I think this is great that Jalen Hurts did this because obviously he wants to be a professional football player. I totally get that. What way to do it than to show that you're not only about winning, but you're about player development. What better way to develop than learn from a player who could potentially win a Heisman Trophy, who has his passing game down pat. You can watch, you can see, he can teach you things, get a great relationship with him, show the coaches at the next level, NFL, that you're a team player by any means, by all means. Hurts can definitely learn from Tua Tagovailoa, and this also gives him some marketability and value as it pertains to his attitude, his character. Also, what does he really have to gain by playing another year somewhere else? He's already got 28 games under his belt as far as starting goes. He's 28-2. Now, Jalen Hurts, you play another season, you've got 40 starts under your belt. So what sense does it make to go somewhere else and say, I'm going to play 2 more seasons, risk getting hurt in college football, take a beating because we know he's not a true passer anyway, he's a running quarterback. What sense does it make to go somewhere else and try to play 2 seasons? If I'm Jalen Hurts, I'm content with just chilling right there in Alabama, learning from this guy who can throw the football, because I know I can do it athletically. I can run, I can get out of the pocket, create space for myself, but if I can learn how to throw like this boy Tua, I may get some cheese. Good decision by Jalen Hurts to stay. I totally agree with it. Perfect, great. The reasoning behind this was phenomenal. So Jalen Hurts, more power to you. Now Clemson, on the other hand, has a little bit of a dilemma. Kelly Bryant announced last week that he would transfer, which I don't blame him. I will say that he had the right to feel as though it was a slap in the face to get benched by freshman Trevor Lawrence. Dabo Swinney told him that he was going to decide to make Trevor Lawrence a starter, which Trevor Lawrence did start against Syracuse, and anybody who watched that game went down to the wire. Now, for me, I ask, where is the loyalty from Dabo Swinney? This guy, Kelly Bryant, got you to a college football playoff game last year. Yes, I know he was up and down, but there was no drop-off as it pertains to your standing in the national spotlight and where you needed to get. He won a conference championship. He got to the college football playoff. Why was he not given an opportunity to retain his starting spot? I know you like this freshman. I totally get it. But this guy, Kelly Bryant, had a chance to go to numerous schools. I think he's from South Carolina. He chose to stay at home, play for Clemson, and then you do the man like this. If I'm Kelly Bryant, I say deuces too. Now, The reason that my people may say in hindsight this was a bad decision because Trevor Lawrence is already out. He got hurt against Syracuse. The freshman got knocked out of the game as he tries to get extra yards. And you look at that play and you say to yourself, that's why Kelly Bryant should have stayed. Why should he have stayed? Even if he comes back, even if Kelly Bryant's still on the roster, he gets an opportunity to play. Trevor Lawrence is out a couple weeks. Say Kelly Bryant struggles, this, that, and the third. Trevor Lawrence gets healthy, and he says, you know what, Kelly? We like you, but Trevor's back. So we're going to go ahead and put the freshman back in who hasn't paid any dues. This is his first year. Yeah, we know he'll be here about 2 more years until he's a junior at least because that's the rules. But, yeah, we're going to put the freshman back in, even though you got us to the playoffs last year. I'm not a fan of that, okay? And Hunter Renfrow, for him to be critical, come on, bro. For you to sit here and say when you sign to a school, then you're committing to a school, you're committing to a team, blah, 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 blah. You start. You're not coming off of the bench. You haven't gotten an injury or anything like that. You're not in a position to honestly, Hunter Renfrow, let's be real about it. They feel like they can't bench you because you essentially won them a national championship. How do I bench a guy that caught the pass from my almost Heisman Trophy winner, Deshaun Watson, and got me a national championship? I can't bench that guy. So of course you're gonna talk like that. Hunter Renfrow, shut your mouth. Shut your mouth and go ahead and get your degree and be the next Cole Beasley, all right? Because you ain't gonna be no Pro Bowler. You ain't gonna be no Pro Bowler, But I totally look at this situation. I totally agree with Kelly Bryant transferring because if a coach is going to show you that type of loyalty, then why are you going out there on Saturdays putting your body on the line for him? And speaking of Earl Thomas, we'll get to him in a minute. Ohio State and Penn State. Let's talk about that game. Last week it was a thriller in Happy Valley. They had the whiteout going. Oh, they had Corso take the lion head off, then put another lion head on. Oh, the ambiance, the pageantry of college football. It was on full display in Happy Valley. 12-point deficit for Ohio State. Dwayne Haskins, the quarterback who always wanted to play for the Buckeyes, 3 TDs, 1 interception, 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, which were important. Now, the great thing that I saw about this entire game was after the game. The speech that James Franklin gave. Yes, the performance by Ohio State was great. James Franklin, the reason I like him is because he knows how to pick up a program. The speech he gave talking about Ohio State being an elite program, and that's where Penn State wants to be. We were a good program, but we turned into a great program. We're a great program, but great is not good enough. We need to be an elite program. And you know what? I love that sentiment coming from James Franklin because he's telling his players, guys, you guys are doing really great, but great's not getting the job done. Great's not putting us on the same level as Clemson, in Alabama, in Ohio State. So for him to give that type of speech to me says to recruits out there, to players on the current roster, that we are going to do whatever it takes to get on those guys' levels. And I respect Penn State and James Franklin even more so with him giving that type of speech. It tells me that he's a real coach. And he says that his players need to give more effort and be on another level if they want to get to that level, okay? My big game for Saturday, this upcoming Saturday, that I can't wait to watch. Now, nobody cares about that Florida State-Miami game. Ain't no Sean Taylor's playing in that. Ain't no Ed Reed's playing in that. So we're not even talking about that game. Oh, I hope it's okay. They got a freshman playing, N'Kosi Perry, and then they got this DeAndre Francois, used to be good, 5-star, dual threat quarterback who's scared to stand in the pocket because he's had a couple knee injuries, which I understand, but so what? Nobody cares about that rivalry. We all care about number 5 LSU versus number 22 Florida in the swamp. Now, these days, it's not necessarily a swamp. It's more like a misty marsh because ain't nobody scared to walk in that marsh, okay? The better schedule is for LSU. It has been for LSU. They played the tougher schedule. I won't say better. They played the tougher schedule. They played Miami, they were number 8 in the country. Then they played against at Auburn. I really like the way that Joe Burrow has shown that, hey, maybe I could have played at Ohio State. The man's got 1,000 yards passing, no interceptions, 6 TDs through the air, but he's a field general. He knows how to put people in the right spots. They got the young boy Nick Brossette, and then Florida, I look at them on the other hand. They had a great game against Mississippi State, but I'm not going to be too impressed about that because they went to Kentucky and got busted. How do we know how real Kentucky is? We'll find out this weekend. But Mississippi State, I'm not going to put too much stock into that win. Felipe Franks, 12 TDs, 6 picks. Will he get help from the young freshman Perry? Tony, what's he going to do in the running game? Can this defense stand up and play lights out like they did against Mississippi State? It's going to be a hard-fought game down in Gainesville. I look forward to seeing what Coach O can get the old boys to do. College football this weekend, we'll definitely see who is the creme de la creme in the SEC. because now we've got our big-time conference clashes. We had one earlier this year with Alabama versus Texas A&M, but we all know Alabama's the creme de la creme of the west side of the SEC and college football in general. So this will give us a better materialization of who is the biggest and brightest star teams in the SEC. MLB playoffs, let's go ahead and shift over to baseball. Don't you guys want to talk some wild card talk? Dodgers and Brewers, they got the tiebreaker divisional wins. The upstart Braves, they face the Dodgers. Now that'll come down to pitching. I really look forward to seeing if Sean Newcomb can play like an ace for Atlanta. Where will Kershaw come in? We know that he didn't play his best or put on his best show last year in the World Series. We understand that. However, you got to remember, Clayton Kershaw, he's still a dominant pitcher. And at any time somebody's got the juice like that, they can open a can on somebody. So don't ever sell that man Clayton Kershaw short, even though he's got past postseason struggles. The Astros and Indians, that'll be an interesting series. I really think Alex Bregman has been playing like an MVP talent. Corey Kluber, yes, he's always a Cy Young talent. But will the Indians hitting be able to match the Astros lineup? Because when you talk about Alex Bregman, Springer, Correa, Altuve, I could go on and on. They've got so many stars that can swing the baseball bat. I just don't know if that'll be an easy out for the Indians. Because the Astros, they definitely have shown that they've got superior pitching. They added Garrett Cole middle of the year. They are really playing at an entirely different level right now. So I really like the Astros. Now, my pick to win the World Series, I got to go with the Boston Red Sox. Too much inconsistency with the Yankees lineup. I can't say that the Yankees can make it out of the NL because they're just not Boston. The Boston Red Sox have led the AL in runs scored, led the league in runs scored throughout the season. But Chris Sale's going to need to pick it up just a little bit. They say that he's lost velocity on his pitches. I never thought he was that great. I mean, it's the same guy who took his jersey off and cut it up because he didn't like it because it was a throwback. So can his attitude hold up in a tight series when the game's on the line? Can he keep his emotions in check? This guy's cutting up jerseys in the clubhouse. Who does that? Where they do that at, Chris Sale? Come on, man. Where they do that at? And RIP to the Chicago Cubs season. They lost last night, a wild card matchup to the Colorado Rockies. Congrats to them. This was the longest postseason wild card matchup in baseball history. What was it? 13 games? 13 innings? Down to the top of the 13th when Colorado somehow finds a way to get something done and Trevor Story scores. They go up one run even after the dramatic Baez run driven in. So, I look at that entire Chicago situation. If it seems like they're still drunk off of success, Theo Epstein, what are you going to do with Joe Madden? Do you keep him or get rid of the guy who won you a World Series and it's been 100 years? Did he win it or did Theo put it together? Because didn't he break the curse in Boston also? So maybe he feels as though Joe Madden is expendable. NFL-wise, Patrick Mahomes has cultivated a believer in me. He's got arm strength. He's got competitive fire, intellect, improvisation, 14 touchdowns, no interceptions. He showed me the other night against Denver that he is for sure the real deal. I doubted him. I walk out in the streets. I say, this is Mahomes' kid. I watched him at Texas Tech. He was all right, but he played at Texas Tech. Come on, man. Mahomes is somebody who has shown me that Alex Smith was simply an old pickup truck ready for the junkyard. Now, I'm not saying that Alex Smith isn't a good quarterback, but he's not somebody that can seem to get his teams to the next level. He's just not. And I now see why Andy Reid pulled the plug on the Alex Smith experiment. Because he had somebody young that he saw in practice every day. Stuff that we can't see here out on the outside, here in the media. We can't see that. Patrick Mahomes, with those type of weapons, a Kareem Hunt at running back, Spencer Ware, the star has really dimmed on Spencer Ware by having a Kareem Hunt. But how healthy can Kareem Hunt stay? That's what I want to know. And then you got Tyreek Hill. I really like this Kansas City Chiefs team. However, can they keep it up? Can they play enough defense? Because right now they're the worst defense in the NFL, in my opinion. They're giving up 400-something yards a game. So can this Chiefs defense find a way to muster up some type of courage? Maybe if they get Eric Berry back, because he's been out with a heel injury. Maybe when they get Eric Berry back, that team will start to come along a little bit more on the defensive side of the ball. But Patrick Mahomes, if you play any defense with him, you are in great shape with the way he looks right now. We'll see if they can continue throughout the full season. Can he win NFL MVP? Can he? He won September MVP, but championships aren't won in September. Maybe Andy Dalton can become the red sniper? not the Red Rifle. They had the comeback win in Atlanta. Win a playoff game and then you'll be a hero to me, Andy Dalton. Cincinnati, they make it all the time, but they don't win anything. And Marvin Lewis somehow still has a job. But the pass to A.J. Green in the corner of the end zone was impressive, Red Sniper. It was. It was. Fitzmagic is out. Jameis Winston's back in. When you got Jameis Winston in your name, I'm starting to look at Dirk Cutter and say, when are you going to win some games? I'm not going to put it all on Jameis Winston because I think he's a Super Bowl talent of a quarterback. Can he be mature enough to lead a team? We shall see. But Dirk Cutter, you're on the hot seat with me, sir. And Baker Mayfield, he's clearly the answer in Cleveland. The guy scored 42 points on a bad Oakland defense. I'm sure John Gruden wishes that they had your boy, what's his name? I can't think of it. Oh yeah, he's in Chicago. Khalil Mack. I'm sure he wishes that he could have Khalil Mack back. I want you back, oh baby. I want you back, oh baby. So John Gruden, think next time before you say we don't have enough money to pay Khalil Mack, and you're walking around with a check for $100 million. Think about that next time. I bet you're thinking about it now, right? What do you want? What are you, 1-2, 1-3? What are you, 1-3? What? I know they only won one game. I know that. And you finally started to get Amari Cooper the ball. Congrats to you, Derek Carr, John Gruden. Goodness. Also, Le'Veon Bell, he's returning week 7 or 8. He'll be back. Pouncey, come on, Pouncey, man. You know, the Steelers center has been talking trash about Le'Veon Bell, saying that he just still doesn't like the fact that he's Worry about your own pockets, okay? Because Le'Veon Bell's playing running back, and last time I checked, they take some big shots. Offensive linemen do too. But running backs can get hurt on any play. So can defensive players. Look at the Earl Thomas situation. There's a reason he flipped off his sideline, because he never got his bread. And now he's got a broken lower leg because he put his body on the line. So watch your mouth, Pouncey. Worry about your own bread. Are you Maurice? Watch your mouth, Pouncey. Because Le'Veon, he deserves every penny that he gets. And I don't have a problem with him saying anything about it, but the Steelers, they're the most dysfunctional team in the NFL right now. What is this? As the world turns, Pittsburgh style. In the NBA West, we know preseason's underway. We know there's a new show out in LA. We know that LeBron is running down the midway, slamming and jamming, rocking the rim. Who's that guy? Oh, LeBron, that's him. Now, the Lakers ball movement with LeBron James, it looks much more fluid. You got Rondo and Len Stevenson out there razzle-dazzle with the ball. You've got guys that they play with a different type of spark in their knees, a little bounce, a little pop in their step, because they know we got King James over on the roster. We got King James on the roster. So I really am interested in seeing how the LeBron effect takes place and how it transpires, how it sets into motion on the court in the Staples Center in front of Jack Nicholson and LeVar Ball and all of them. Now, the Lakers, they have a couple big ballers. Can those big ballers come together and make something of a run at the Western Conference Championship Finals? I don't know, because they're going to have to go against those Golden State Warriors. That means they got to get the 2 seed. Can they get the 2 seed? Melo, you know, he's over there smiling and stuff, and Houston got his baby back. Lala got his girl back, you know. So, you know, who knows? But LeBron looks like he has definitely brought a change to the culture in the Lakers organization immediately. It was electric in the Staples Center last night. Everybody's got their 23 jerseys on. You know, hey, it's no secret. I've always been a Lakers fan. I've always been a Lakers boy. I might have to get me one. And I'm going to put it right behind my Kobe jersey, but I'm going to have to get me one, okay? But I really look forward to seeing how NBA basketball looks this year, having the best player, arguably the best player in the game right now, in the toughest conference in the NBA. And what does that do to does that create a disparity in the East? Are we going to see just 2 dominant teams in the East because LeBron's no longer there? Is it Boston's to win and the Toronto's to take with Kawhi Leonard? Not sure. But it will be interesting to watch. Next week, we will definitely wrap. I love when you guys check out Zono Sports. This is your favorite sports show. Make sure you check me out. And this is the Zono Sports Show, and you know that Zo knows. Thank you.